So, first of all, this is an epic, so it's not going to show up in most drafts. There are other warrior cards that we haven't looked at yet that synergize with this, but again, as we always talk about, reverse alphabet core. That's how it got set up right now. I mean, we could go with Demon Hire first, but I think we'll start with Warrior. As with this non-arena card, it's really not. It's really not. Eventually, this is just 5 health for 2 mana on your face. You compare this to things like Holy Light, and it's super terrible. If you've already got the armor synergy cards that we're gonna see upcoming, then I mean maybe you can draft it, but it's a one. It's don't draft. It's don't draft. Yeah, Johnson's Heavy Metal Synergy, right. If you've already got armor synergy cards, it can be fun to pick. But in the general draft, this is a don't draft. It's not an arena card. Ice Blood Garrisons. This is the first of these kind of aura, these field cards, these enchantments, whatever you want to call them. I'll probably call them field cards, I think. But yeah, at the end of your turn, deal 1 damage to all minions, which does include yours, not just enemies, which can be good or bad, often bad in Arena compared to Constructed. Last 3 turns. So for 2 mana, you do 3 whirlwinds. You do a whirlwind at the end of your first turn, and then the next 2 turns. Larry says 2 stars. John says great for Bloodguard type thing. Tricep looks really underwhelming. It's interesting because, yeah, it could be just as bad for you as the opponent in Arena. In Constructed, you're building a deck around this type of effect. But in Arena, it's tougher to say. Because weren't they being called objectives? Is that what they were calling them, like, on the Hearthstone streams and stuff? You know, they might be called objectives in the actual Alterac Valley. Call them objectives, that's what they're called. Okay, Dan and Mika's are saying the same thing, just 2 is saying yes. Okay, I had not heard that. I will try to adjust to that. Interesting. The only reason I don't like that, I'll do it if they're doing that. But the only reason I don't like that is if they try to print any cards like this in the future, and it's not around like a battleground theme. Yeah, John wants to call them enchantments like Magic the Gathering would. I'll call them objectives if that's what they're calling them on the Warcraft official streams. But yeah, it kind of limits the type of cards that can print like this in the future if they want to keep calling them objectives. Oh well, we'll call them objectives. But yeah. I think this is interesting. And it is some kind of value. It's 3 whirlwinds in 1. But it's difficult to control. This could be better for your opponent than you. I think for most drafts, it's another don't draft, or at least strong avoid. Larry says objectives is a weird name for them. There's no objective to them. The reason they're calling them objectives is because the whole expansion, Alterac Valley, is based on this 40 versus 40 battleground in World of Warcraft. 40 Horde players, 40 Alliance. They did like Horde versus Horde later or whatever, but this was an objective. You would attack Ice Blood Garrison and take control of it if you were an Alliance player. There was a boss in here, so your 40 players, or however many were on a fence, would go swarm it, fight the boss, and then you would burn down the garrison type thing. So it was an objective in World of Warcraft. So that's the idea. To the front with Ricard on it. I need to take a drink though. He said, what stupid reason to call them objectives? I played World of Warcraft. A lot of World of Warcraft. Last says they mess with physical objective. Yeah. So like there's future ones that are like bridges and stuff. Yeah. So they're all like locations. There's a graveyard one. There's a bridge. There's a garrison. All right, to the front with Ricard on. Your minions go. Oh yeah. I think this is still not an arena card. None of these warrior cards are arena cards so far. But yeah, 2 mana. Your minions cost 2 less this turn, but not less than 1. So yeah, I saw a billion Reddit comments on this card that said, you know, essentially, I'm not sure what the deck's gonna look like, but this is gonna break wild somehow. So, spending a card to discount other cards in Arena usually has not worked out. Usually is not worked out because using cards faster than the opponent, and then if they can just play some taunts and defend, and they end up with more cards than you, they win. Usually this has not worked out. That's not to say it can never work out, but usually this has not worked out in Arena. So, honestly, it's another card that I would say in general, just don't draft. Maybe it's gonna be a 2. If you can play this, if you can play this on turn 6, and you can play 2 4-cost minions for 6 mana instead of 8. But again, you spent 3 cards. You spent 3 cards instead of spending 2 cards. Maybe it can work out for you. But it's a pretty high risk play. It uses up your cards quickly. I think it usually won't work out, personally. We'll see. But yeah, I would be going 1 or 2. All 3 cards here for Warrior have not been good in Arena, I would say. La Glory Chaser. On the other hand, this one works fine in Arena. Just as a 3-mana 4/3, it's a 3-star card. It's a 3-star card, a little bit of a lower end 3 than a 3/4. But it's still 3. I mean, you could call 3-mana 4/3s high 2s because it's not the stat line you want compared to 3/4. But just as that, it's fine. And the text is after you play a taunt minion, draw a card. You play a lot of taunt minions in Arena, typically. One that comes to mind immediately right now is the 2-mana 2/3 Mule, that when you draw it, you get 2 copies of the Mule. So if you can put down this 3-mana 4/3, and then drop a Mule or 2 Mules, depending on how much mana you have, and draw another card with the Mule, and then the Mules help defend this card, and then the next turn you can play the 7-mana 4/10 taunt to keep trying to protect this, you might just have a taunt draw engine. That's gonna sometimes work in Arena. So, it depends on how many taunts you have. It depends on how many taunts you have, of course. But I think in a lot of Arena decks, it'll be pretty easy to draw 1 card off of this at least, which is enough for me to boost it to 4. Let's use the 1, 2, 3 key in the bottom right. Something new. It is something new. It is something new. We've in the past had a lot of people say, like, how could you call that a 3? How could you call it a 3? This is terrible or something. It's like, well, for me, a 3 is something that you'll have to pick because it's half decent. This is my version. Yeah. 1, you don't want to take it almost ever. 2, I don't want to pick this card. I guess we gotta. The other cards are, the other cards are 1-star cards. They're terrible. I guess I gotta take this card. 3, this is a card. Fills the deck. This is pretty nice. Oh, this is gonna win games. that's my type of guide. Because it can be very good in old Doom meta specifically. And yeah, just uses the original Warrior Quest approves of this expansion. I wonder if it'll become popular and wild again. Maybe. If you have 4 taunt, it's not horrible. Yeah, no, like I said, yeah, I think it'll be pretty easy to draw 1 card off this. And even if you just put this down 3 and dies, it's what 4-mana 4/3s do. Tries to do half points. I don't currently do half points, but I do while we're talking about a card, say if I think this is a high-end 4 or a low-end 4. But I don't currently do half points. Scrapsmith. 3-mana 2/4. We've seen a couple other 2/4s in this expansion for 3-mana. Not the stat line you want, but the effects have been good. And this one is also a good effect. So this is big value. You play 3 understat cards, but you get 3 cards for the price of drafting 1 card. But quarter points. We've had half points, yes. What about quarter points? I don't think he knows about quarter points, Pip. I think I was gonna say hi to somebody too, by the way. Who? Shaman. Shaman, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Okay. Was there 10 Alterac Valley just coincidentally lined up? Or did they make up / not add some of them? Oh, was there... Are there 10 objectives? I didn't actually realize that. Is there 1 per class? There were a bunch of towers and stuff. There were a bunch of towers that aren't in the expansion. Alright, just as 1 per class. I didn't actually realize that. I didn't notice. Dwarf that makes grunts. This is a misprint. That's actually an interesting point. Wait. Hey, yeah, what? This is an Orc game. The art's wrong on the site. Oh, really? Oh, curious. Okay. Huh. All right. So, yeah, I was looking at the Scrappy Grunt, which I can see on the website, and the Scrappy Grunt is an Orc. But so this is also an Orc in the actual game. The site's wrong. Okay. Yeah, Phantom says traitor. It's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Is this art for a different card, or what happened here? Weird. Anyway, I'm curious exactly what's going on here. But yeah, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. When Dredge revealed it was an Orc. Huh, so maybe, I don't know, maybe they did this art and they're like, wait, we made a mistake, and they had to commission some other art or something? Oh yeah, David points out that, yeah, if you combine this with Glory Chaser, you can keep dropping these taunts in front of it and drawing more cards. Yeah. Chip says he does have green armor. True. He does look upset. Maybe the orcs captured him. Maybe, yeah, bets for Brook Mercenaries. That could be a thing. Maybe the orcs captured him and forced him to work. He looks upset. What's he say about his card? Oh yeah, Monsieur links the art that was apparently in the Dreads reveal. Yeah. Looks more accurate. He doesn't look upset. He looks more depressed, maybe. But how good is this card? I think it's pretty good. A 3-mana. There was a 3-mana 2/4 taunt that was printed in the past a long time ago. I don't remember what the name of the card was, but that card was pretty terrible. It was like a 2. This card, on the other hand, gives you a lot of value. And so, yeah, I would be very hesitant to call this a 5, because you do have to spend the 9 mana to get this stuff out there. But, yeah, Tri says Phantom Militia, but more flexible, right. Phantom Militia, you could play 3 of them on turn 9, you could play 2 of them on turn 6, but what you couldn't do is put 1 down on turn 3, and then put the other ones down later. So, yeah, this card is much nicer in Phantom Militia. Phantom Militia was kind of a very low-end 3, I might call it. I think I would call this a 4, maybe even a high-end 4. It's a lot of value. Yeah, Slighting says it was Squirming Tentacle. Yeah, that card, that's one of the cards. What was it, too? It was like, I don't want to draft this, but I guess I have to. Just about as good as Mule. Depends how slow the meta is. It depends on how slow the meta is. I think if it's a slow meta, this is a little better. Snowed In is a very curious card. Destroy a damaged minion like Execute, but for 1 extra mana. Freeze all other minions, which includes yours. But, you could play this, potentially, freeze all the enemy minions, and then drop, like, 2-3 cost cards, and those won't be frozen. This is Frost Warrior. Artist likes the art. It's got that radical fluorescent undead hair, which you can use in World of Warcraft. Yeah, this card's pretty sweet. I'm trying to decide if I'm calling it a 5. Is it 5 strong, or is it 4 strong? If it was freeze all enemy minions, it'd be 5 strong. Because it freezes your minions too, is it only 4? Banana says 5. It's kind of on the line. Because it freezes your minions too, I think that can sometimes be awkward enough to call it a 4. We'll see. Because it says you could kill your own minion if you really have to freeze the enemy minions to use it as, Frost Nova while killing like a 1/1 damaged minion or something you have. That's true. Just to says question, can this be cast if there's no damaged minions? Oh, almost definitely not. The way it's worded. I'm gonna call that 4, because I think the awkwardness is gonna be enough to not make it a 5. Still very solid, though. 4 mana, Axe Berserker. 4 mana 3/5. More 4 mana 3/5s than usual this expansion. Rush, Honorable Kill, draw a weapon. With the rush, it's already probably a high-end 3 versus, what we'd call a 2 if it didn't have rush. With that added draw a weapon, it's actually pretty tough. It's pretty tough to draft a weapon. In this meta specifically, it feels like. Most of my warrior drafts have not had weapons. But if it's reasonably easy to draft weapons in this particular meta, which a lot of metas it is, this could very, 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 very easily go up to 4-star. If you've got at least 2 weapons, this becomes very good. If you don't have at least 2 weapons, it's still good. It's still good. Captain Galvangar. Galvangar? Forget exactly where this guy was on the map. Was he in the bunker actually? He's not in the bunker here, but was he in the bunker? I forget. I think he was in the bunker. The first bunker that you hit as Alliance. But yeah, 6 mana, 6/6, which would on its own just be understated versus Boulder for Stoker. Battlecry, if you gain 15 or more armor this game, gain plus 3/3 and charge. Interesting that they've brought charge back. But yeah, again, if you've already drafted this legendary, then maybe you could consider also drafting this epic that came up way back here that gives you 10 armor and makes it quite easy to activate that. But most arena games, you are not going to gain 15 armor. You are not going to armor up 8 times. Most arena games. If you have a very slow deck that is trying to outlast the opponent, and you want to use this as a finisher, it could be okay. But yeah, in general, this is an understated card. Yeah, Lars is very, very, very hard to activate. I would certainly agree. So yeah, I would say this is an easy understated card. I threw the new hero cards in here. They will almost definitely not be draftable. There have not been any new draftable heroes in like 4 years. But you could discover this. So, I mean, we'll think about it for a brief moment. Let me see. I had a page where the addition, because I don't know all the stuff about these heroes. But I had a page that had all these. So yeah, Rikara gives you this 5/2 weapon that says after you attack a minion, smash it into the enemy hero, which is interesting. So you can swing this 5/2 into like a 9/9 shovel fist. You take 9 damage, but then the opponent takes 9 instead of 5 if you were to try to go face. It's an interesting effect, and your hero power becomes deal 2 damage for 2 mana, and if you kill something with that 2 damage, you gain 4 armor, which is a pretty nice hero power. So this is 2 mana more than like an Arcanite Reaper for a big hero power upgrade and 5 armor, and the weapon is better than Arcanite Reaper. So if you could draft this, I think it would still be a 5. I think it would be a low end 5, but yeah, that's all. Getting the permanent hero power upgrade while gaining 5 armor and a nice weapon, it's still real good. It's still real good. Just uses one of the weakest Death Knights, one of the weakest new heroes. Maybe constructed as well, but it would work in arena. It would work in arena. It's decimal system. I do love to throw out random numbers. Bland. And here I think is the last warrior card. Again, armor synergy, more of a constructed card probably, because yeah, 10 mana. All 10 mana. Deal 5 damage to all minions, including your minions. Cost 1 less for each armor you have. Generally in arena, you have between 0 and 2 armor. Generally. Sometimes you get up to like 6. But yeah, this is doing 5 this is worth like 6 mana. It's like Fellfire potion type thing, Dragonfire potion type thing. It'd be really, yeah. Alliances might be worth drafting sometimes. It's not 100% undraftable, but it's still just kind of tough to pull off. It's too expensive. I won't go down to 1, but it really still looks like a card to avoid. Robus, this could be a good card to discover when you happen to have high armor, or you just, you need to have an AoE in the near future. Yeah, that could be true. But yeah. Generally one to avoid, I would say. Yeah, that should be the last warrior card. We'll move along to Wart Lock. We continue to move in reverse alphabetic order. What do you think about a weapon that stays open on the opponent's turn? I think it would be very interesting, but it'd probably be super busted, right? Because you would just never swing with it, right? You would have this permanent, let's say it's three attack. I mean, 5 attack would be even crazier, but 3 attack thorns that, if 6 mana 2/2, okay, maybe then. Just says, what if the durability decreased when you got hit? Okay, if you did that, then yeah, you could pull off something with that for sure. And you could give a better stat line on the weapon. But yeah, if a permanent thorns in your hero, that means if the opponent attacks with 3/2, it's this like a permanent explosive trap against enemy minions. That's just that's not healthy for arena, I would say. But yeah, if you did make the durability reduce, you could do something interesting with it. DC says, if oh my god, secret in this mana, random 10-mana spell. Oh yeah, it's stopping a stopping a random puzzle box type thing. There's a great card review. 0 numbers available. Oh dear. Have I said I had Thrifty? Hope you're doing great. Thrifty streams a wide variety of stuff. Check him out if you're not. This immovable object is similar. In terms of it being an ongoing effect, as long as you don't swing it, right? Or no, it doesn't even lose durability. So, yeah. But it doesn't, damage the enemy minions. They get to go face for half damage, but they don't lose their minions. Alright. 1 mana, 2/1, Battlecry, copy a fail spell in your hand. Obviously, the more fail spells you have, the better this gets. As a 1 mana, 2/1, it's 1 mana, 2/1s. They need to have a good Battlecry, like an Aug Merchant. The Aug Merchant boosts the Aug Merchants from 2 stars to 4 stars. The more fail spells you have, the more stars you can give it. I mean, maybe not 5. Maybe not 5 if you have a lot of fail spells. But if you have, 4 fail spells, maybe this becomes a 4. If you got 2 fail spells, maybe it becomes a 3. But generally, you don't really want 1 mana 2/1s that don't have bonus effects. Alright, Seeds of Destruction. Shuffle 4 Rifts into your deck. They summon a 3/3 Dread Imp while drawn. The Dread Imps are just 3/3s. They don't have Rush or Taunt or anything, I believe. So this is 2 mana, do nothing for a while. Which, you compare it like the squirrel, the 1 mana 2/1 in Druid. You get that squirrel, and then you get the 2/1s in the future. The fact you get it on board. There have been the portal cards in the past that eventually give you the 2/2 rushes. They didn't have good bodies, but they had bodies. The 4 mana 5/2. Yeah, this is a pretty long-term plan. And so the more aggressive the meta is, the worse this gets. The more controlled the meta is, the better this gets. In general, though, 2 mana do nothing for a while is pretty bad. So I would typically call this 2. But if the meta is very controlly, maybe it could go up to 3. But I think this is generally something to avoid. Oh, if the meta is aggressive, it goes to 1. If the meta is aggressive, this becomes super terrible. Versus shuffling Warlocks better than a class. It's true, but this is still something to avoid, and it gets more to avoid the more aggressive the meta is. Join the tavern. Yeah, Larry Cabeza says, yeah, Ticketmaster. Yeah, Ticketmaster would be much more draftable than this. If you play against them, you'll play it on 2 and get all 4 of the 3/3s the next turn. Here's another one of those objectives: the Desecrated Graveyard. At the end of your turn, destroy your lowest attack minion. Summon a 4/4 Shade. Last 3 turns. This if you've got a low curve deck. I mean, this could work if you can drop especially if you got things with Death Rattles. If you like right now, there's like that 2 mana 2/2 that gives you a 1/1 with spell power. If you could drop that and destroy it, summon a 4/4, get the 1/1 as well. This could work out, but you have to do the initial 3 mana investment, and you have to have the right minions for the next 2 turns as well. It all seems kind of... Yeah, Dread. If you already got Dreadsteed, that's true. Which is very zooey. Yeah, Lyra says awful. I would not go as far as awful. John says you need to destroy a minion. I'm almost certain you have to destroy a minion because it says at the end of your turn, destroy your lowest attack minion. Two is the key word to summon a 4/4 shade. If it said at the end of your turn, destroy your lowest attack minion and summon a 4/4 shade, then it would go. But because it says 2 summon a 4/4 shade, I'm pretty sure you would need the minion on board. Almost positive. So, yeah, I see some people saying awful. Jess says this is a bad one. Some people might be thinking 1. But this is choice for you. You don't decide. Well, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about if you had no board, would you get a 4/4 for free? If you played a tap and you didn't play any minions, would you get the 4/4? And the answer is almost definitely no. Hercules thinks it's a 4-star card, which I think is also a tough sell for me. I'm deciding between 2 and 3. And says, Wave Apathy Arena? That would suck. Well, that would become like random. And we won't know if it's an arena until Tuesday when the patch notes come out, when the patch comes out. Well, maybe they'll put the patch notes out tomorrow and the patch will go out the next day. But either way, we don't know the rotation yet. Splendid goes for the 2 stars. Yeah, I think that's fair. If this was 0 mana, or even 1 mana, I would bump up to 3. I think you can pull this off real easy if it costs 1 mana. But costing 3 mana and needing to have the 3 turns go well, the first turn and the initial 2 turns go in your favor. Yeah, I'll go 2. JD with the first time chat, happy to have you here, also goes 2. Yeah, I'm not going 1. I think you can take advantage of this quite often in Arena, but spending the 3 mana up front is a little harsh. But yeah, this is one of the best named cards in the expansion. The full-blown evil. Not light evil. Not morally gray. The full-blown evil. With the new Lich Tamsin. Thank you, JM Deep, for the follow as well. I appreciate that. 3 mana, deal 5 damage split among all enemy minions, repeatable this turn. So yeah, Echo without Echo. Which means you can reduce it to 0 mana. Yeah, split among enemy minions. Can't go face. And it can't hit your minions. Which means this is pretty crazy, insanely good. Doing 10 random damage for 6 mana among enemy minions is really, really good. And dealing 15 damage for 9 mana. If you're in even board state, you have a few minions, they have a few minions, and you can play this 3 times. It's like you win the game. Yeah, I think this is very versatile and super useful. We had what was it? Minefield for Warrior, which was 2 mana, deal 5 damage randomly, but it hit your minions too. So this costs extra mana, but you don't hit your own stuff. You can be ahead. Yeah, it's Cinderstorm Plus. Oh yeah, plus. Yeah. I don't know if I don't think it's quite enough to go 6 stars, but when this comes up, you'll draft it super often, unless it's up against even more insane card. Very versatile, very useful, very arena. Which is the opposite of everything I was saying about the warrior cards, right? This almost never works. This is bad in arena, requires synergy, it's understated. This is the exact opposite description for Warlock compared to Warrior. 3 mana, 3/3. Yeah, but yeah, so it was neutrals and Warrior, but yeah, we still got like 8 classes to go. Sacrificial Summoner, 3 mana, 3/3. Battle card destroy from the minion. Summon a minion from your deck that costs 1 more. So yeah, the more death rattles you have, the better this becomes. It's super specific. But if you can just have a Chillwind Yeti, we always use Chillwind Yeti, right? If you can have a Chillwind Yeti and trade into an opponent's 4/4, and you've got 4/1 Yeti, and you can play this on the 4/1 Yeti, it's gonna die their ping anyway, and you can summon a 5. That's really good. I think it'll be pretty easy to take advantage of this. Yeah, very easy to take advantage of this in some way, even without death rattles. So I think it's actually an easy 4. And then if you've got some strong death rails to trigger, this could actually become a 5 for your deck. But yeah, I think, yeah. Banana says unlucky in late draft, yeah. Or if you're trying to play it on curve, a 3-mana 3/3 is bad. But I think there's definitely enough upside to this card to call it an easy 4. For summon, probably not great. As a 3-drop, exactly. But as a card, it's good. I think there's a lot of ways to take advantage of this. Tamsin's Phylacticary. Because the Phylacticaries have the soul of the Lich. So if you blow this up, then you can blow up Tamsin. Discover a friendly death rattle minion that died this game. Give your minions its death rattle. So I mean, this can probably do something nutty and constructed. Right now in Arena, you could have a bone, not a bone mare, a bone drake die with get a dragon, and you could potentially give that to like 3 other minions. But at 4 mana. And having to have the death rattle minion already die, and then you have to be able to spend 4 mana while you've got 2 or 3 minions on board. You can start to compare this to like the Shaman card. That's the 4 mana, give minions resummon this minion. And that card, if you pull it off, it wins the game, typically. But it's been really hard to pull off in the past. And yeah, ATC, if Darkspear Berserker is the meta, you can give all your minions, deal 5 damage to your own face, yeah. Yeah, Larry says minions should already be on board. I assume very bad. Exactly. Banana says this can be insane. Can this be insane? Yes. Banana says you put Dreadsteed on all the minions. Dan says you can put Suspect on all the minions. Get summon a random 3, right. So if you can pull this off, it's really good. But traditionally, cards like this in Arena have been tough to pull off. So, is it a 1? No. Is it a 2? Probably. and the more cards like Suspect is a really good one that Dan pointed out. The more cards like Suspect you have that are solid things to target with this, the more draftable it becomes. But in the general deck, you'll probably have a couple of death rattles that work with this. But getting the minions on board with it is going to be kind of tough. Not a complete. If you don't have death rattles, then boy, avoid it. But in most decks, I would probably say. You might be able to pull it off, but generally avoid it. And it says, imagine scrolls plus this. Well, at that point, you only need 2 minions because you're going to fill the board with 1/1s anyway, and the other deaths won't matter. I like the name on this. Fellfire in the Hole, blowing up one of the what was the name of the Alliance base? Was it Dunbalar? Might come up somewhere in the expansion. But it's one of the bunkers across from the bridge, I think, for the Alliance base. Oh, it's still from Game of Thrones. Draw a spell and deal 2 damage to all enemies. If it's a spell spell, deal 1 more. So this costs 1 more than Consecration. And if you happen to have fail spells, then it's better than Consecration. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm not even thinking about this, honestly. My species says will steal 2, then 1, or 3. I believe it will do 2 and then 1, which can be good against some certain death rattles. Wait, ATD says 3. It can be read either way. I'm reading this: draw a spell and deal 2 damage to all enemies. And then... yeah. Hercules is 3. I think you're right, actually. I think you're right. I think I was wrong the first time I read it. I assume 3 at once from the wording. Yeah. You can still potentially interpret it the other way, but I think you're right, that'd be 3. That's the Warlock tier 3 set, by the way, from Naxxramas, I believe. Wording is consistent with 1 instance 3. Yeah, when you draw terms of Dust 2 or 3, I believe you're right. I guess we say then. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. But yeah, Mikazan says Consecration plus draw. So yeah, even if you don't draw the fell spell, you're spending 1 mana over Consecration to draw a spell. And that's usually worth it. It is, yeah, Bananas is too expensive. It is a little expensive, but I think this will still be a super solid card to draft. in most cases. I'm gonna give it 4. I'm gonna give it 4. But it is a little pricey. It is a little pricey compared to Holy Nova and Consecration. But letting it cycle for 1 extra mana is worthwhile. And if you got fail spells, if you got a bunch of fail spells, then maybe it's 5. Alright, Hollow Abomination, although we are going to have to take another break here in just a moment. This card's pretty insane, right? 5 mana, 2/8, Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions, and if you kill a minion, whichever minions you kill, you gain their attack power. So if the opponent has something you can turn into a 4/1 Yeti, then you can make this into a 5 mana, 6/8 while doing this 1 damage AoE. And that's if you can just put one thing with 4 attack to 1 health. If they have 2 attack minions at 1 health, you get the same 4 attack. So yeah. This is, wow, this works with the Battlecry? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, plus, yeah, the minion itself, if you get up to 6/8 and you kill something that has 6 health, you're gonna gain that attack too. Like Migazon points out. Yeah, David says 6. I don't know about 6, but yeah, I would rank this one a 5. I would rank this one a 5. That's a single-sided bleh. I usually want things to be single-sided. Now, you could gain attack power off your own stuff, but I'd rather keep my own 1 health minions, typically. So I like that single-sided most of the time. Yeah, John says it might be a 6. Possibly, but yeah, it's really, really, really strong. And it's a common. So this may be a big boost to Warlock. We do have to take a break, though. We do have to take a break before this Dreadlich. We'll be back. Alright, let's get back to it. Again, these hero cards will almost definitely not be draftable. But I threw them in anyway, just talk about them briefly. So yeah, this one does 3 damage to all minions for 6 mana, which is pretty reasonable already. Oh no, it hits your minions too, which makes it less reasonable. You shuffle 3 of those rifts in your deck, which summon 3 3s, and then you draw 3 cards. Nourish and Druid draws 3 cards for 6 mana and doesn't have an AoE effect for shuffling rifts. And then your hero power becomes shuffle another rift into your deck and draw a card. You don't take damage unlike the regular Warlock draw card. So yeah, I mean, just like the other one, this would be very, very draftable. Very, very, very draftable. Maybe honestly still a low end 5, possibly. Maybe probably high end 5. Zero, so what possible ways can be discovered? Swashbuckler is in the core set right now. Swashbuckler gives you a random class card. So it's not a discover, but it is a way to get these. That's one way. Right now there's Hallucination, but Hallucination probably won't be in the next meta. We'll see. But yeah, that's the last Warlock card. We're going to move to Shaman. 1 mana, freeze a minion, plus draw a card. Yeah, so you're spending 1 mana to draw your next card. You can trigger some of those frost effects on like the neutral cards and stuff. So yeah, 1 mana to cycle a card and do the freeze is worth it. Is worth it. It's probably not completely insane, but it's very nice. It's very nice. If you got like Skullmance in, this is a super good activator of spell bursts. I don't know if Skullmance will be in, but it might be. So yeah. Yeah, this is just a card. You're like, yeah, happy to see that. Useful. 2 mana, deal 3 damage, was what you expect. Honorable kill. Your opponent's next spell costs 2 more. This could be really... it's not like if your opponent casts a spell next turn, make it cost you more. It's forever. And so you do what you want to do with a 2-cost spell, which is 3 damage, Frostbolt, Dark Bomb, etc., Drain Soul. And the honorable kill effect is really nice to disrupt your opponent's mana, especially if you want to, try to stop something important like a Flame Strike going into turn 7. So yeah, I think I honestly put this up to 5. It's what you want to do on 2 mana, and the effect seems very strong. It's big mana disruption basically for free. I like it. I like it. Try and Jensen point out it can go face if you need the face damage. He says I think it deserves 5. I don't know. Maybe it's 4, but I think it's just really, really, really strong disruption on a solid card. I think it's pretty nuts, honestly. I look at this and I'm barely believe what I'm looking at. I will kill the opponent's face. Yeah, maybe it affects their next game. But yeah, plus it triggers that frost stuff on the neutral cards. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Maybe it is only 4. Maybe I'm too excited about it. Nice, it carries over. Yeah, it's their next spell for the future. Robo says 5 for them. Yeah, I'm going 5. You could call it a low end 5 or a high end 4, but I like it a lot. This one's absolutely insane. 2 mana, 3/2, which is the stat line you want. It activates elemental synergies. It goes into the random elemental pool. And yet it adds one of those wind chills to your hand. So it eventually pays for itself. You draw a card off of it eventually. Plus you freeze enemy minion. Plus you activate Spellburst. Plus you activate Frost synergies. Yeah, that does all types of stuff. If this was a 2 mana 2/2, you would still say, probably like a high end 4, but it's got the stat line you want anyway. So yeah, it's probably just another pretty insane card. Shaman's looking good. Shaman's looking good here. Was that a common or a rare? It's a rare. The Frostbite and Wind Chill are commons though. Lake Emit cycles. And Lake Emit, not only does it cycle, but it, can freeze the opponent's, 6/7 or something they have sticking around on board while you go face or something. Cheaty Snowballed is an epic 3 mana 3/4 stat line you want. After enemy's frozen, deal 3 damage to it. So, you wouldn't get the honorable kill effect on Frostbite, but you could make Frostbite do 6 damage. Oh, sorry, this doesn't freeze. But you can make the Wind Chill, either here or from that minion, do 3 damage on top of drawing a card, on top of freezing. So yeah, it's the stat line you want. It's unclear exactly how easy it'll be to freeze things, but the more things like Wind Chill you have, the better it gets. If you have no freeze effects, it's just a 3. The more freeze effects you get, the easier it becomes to draft. I would probably call it if it's reasonably easy to freeze, I'd probably call it a 4 if you're picking early on even. If you're picking late and you have no freeze, that's just a 3. So speaking of freeze, it's another epic, so it's gonna be tough to draft. It just won't show up very often. 3 mana, deal 1 damage to a minion and freeze it. If it survives, repeat this on another minion. And so does anybody know if they gave big clarifications on this card? Don't like it too much hits friendlies. Yeah, so I'm trying to understand exactly how this card works. So, deal 1 damage to a minion and freeze it. If it survives, repeat this on another minion. So I'm assuming it'll hit another minion that isn't frozen, and then freeze it. And then it says, if this survives, repeat on another minion. The question is, so Quint says at least 1 minion will die. Is that confirmed? Or when all cards are frozen, does it stop? That's my question, because... Okay. ATD and Mikazan say it will indeed not stop if everything is frozen. Conditions whether or not it's alive. Right. Well, and it won't hit the same minion twice. Because it does say repeat this on another minion. So if there was only, because it says another, I think Bouncing Blade will kill 1 minion if there's only 1 minion. But I think this wouldn't kill 1 minion. Right, Johnson won't hit twice in a row. If there was only 1 minion, it's not going to go snowball. It's only going to hit once, unlike Bouncing Blade. Which is an interesting restriction. But it will, if there were 2 minions, it'll kill one of them. Then the current station won't hit the same minion more than once total. Right. But it won't hit the same minion twice. So if it doesn't work again. It doesn't kill only 1 minion, unlike Bouncing Blade, which is the difference. But yeah, for 3 mana. For 3 mana, this one you need a video tutorial for. Combos with the 3/4. Yeah. It also combos with Murabi to get 1 billion cards in your hand, right? But yeah, this card, Lyra said, where was Lyra said, don't like this much, hits friendlies. And I actually don't agree in this case. I think this card is pretty insane, because if you're ahead, well, you're ahead. You don't need this card. You can just hold it to do something else. If you're behind, then this costs the same as Frost Nova did, and Frost Nova was like a 2-star card on its own. But this, if your opponent has 3 minions, 4 minions, it's gonna freeze and damage all of them, plus kill one of them. I actually think this card is pretty... Oh, yeah, although Hercules points out that if they did have like a 1 health minion, yeah, you could kill something too early. That's true. So I'm not gonna call it a 5. Oh, Dan also points out you at least freeze the first target, so if there was a 1-1 and an 8-8, you could freeze the 8-8 and then kill the 1-1, and so at least you can't hit the 1-1 and miss the 8-8 entirely. That's true, that's true. But yeah, I think I would call this at least a 4, still. But maybe because it's still, you know, if they've got a 6-7 and a 2-2, I mean, it's still pretty good. It's still pretty good. Tries it doesn't need to freeze everything. That's true. If they have 4 minions and one of them's a 2-2 and 3 of them are 4-5s, it might go, you know, you hit one of the 4-5s, it goes over the 2-2, it hits the 4-5 again, puts the 4-3, and then it kills the 2-2 if you're really unlucky. You can get unlucky with this card. You can get... He says 1-1 and 8-8 has a 50% chance to miss. No, because like Dan says, the first one, you start the snowball fight by freezing the 8-8. The first one is targeted. It's not deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion. You can always hit the 8-8, which does make it better. But you can still get unlucky with this card in some board states. So I still don't think I'm going to go all the way to 5. But the fact the first one is targeted, and it'll usually go your way as being a strong card for 3 mana. If this was 5 mana, I would not rate it nearly as highly. But on 3 mana, it's pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. It may end up being a 5. We have to kind of see it in action, I think. But I think it'll at least be a 4 minimum. So here's the Shaman objective. At the end of your turn, summon a 3/4 elemental that freezes last 3 turns. The other 2 objectives, or 3 objectives, 2? 3. We've seen we're not too exciting for Arena. This is 9 mana worth of stuff for 4 mana. And you're only paying 1 extra mana to summon the first 3/4. So this one is 5. And yeah, David says 6. It could honestly venture up to 6. It's so much value for the cost. And it can trigger some of these freeze effects that we're already seeing. This could be a 6 maybe, but yeah, it's a pretty easy 5. 1 extra mana for something. 1 extra mana for the 3/4, and then you get 2 others for just the 1 extra mana. It's pretty nuts. What is Santa Ragnaros? Which it would be the Frost Lords. We got the Frost Festival. What's that guy's name? Starts with an A. Who? Literally every shaman card you've used so far, his frost can freeze for his frozen synergy. It's time for Murabi. Snowfall Guardian. Battlecry. Freeze all the minions. Gain +1/+1 for each frozen minion. So you have to freeze 2 minions for this to be good stat, or decent stat-wise. If you freeze 3 minions, it's good stat-wise. It does have the downside. The downside of freezing your minions. I say downside because at least you gain stats for it. But yeah, for 2 mana over a Frost Nova, you could potentially freeze 4 enemy minions while developing a 7/7 for 5 mana, and maybe setting up next turn for, you know, Flame Strike or some other thing you can do to take advantage. It looks really good. It looks really good. And if you're way ahead, maybe you can skip attacking on a turn. You have 3 minions. You could go face for like 8, but you could choose to play this as a 6/6 instead and just not attack, and your minions will be able to attack next turn. Play like Frost Rider and reap the snowball. I think it's actually should ban Shaman from being draftable. Trey hates this card. Yeah, it's gonna be really annoying. It's a common. It's a common, so your stuff's gonna get frozen a lot when you're playing against Shaman, it looks like. Yeah. 5, 4, 4, 5, 4, 4. Maybe I'll The fact that it freezes your stuff is awkward enough, I think, maybe to make it 4 stars, not 5. But it's a strong effect. It's a strong effect. You have 7 minions, no taunts, low health. They play this, you lose. Yeah. So the last 2 cards should be epic. Well, we can be happy, I suppose, that the Cheaty Snowballed is epic. Because if you play the Cheaty Snowballed for 3, and then you play the 5-mana Snowfall Guardian, you summon a giant minion while doing 3 damage to all your opponent's stuff. Plus, you put your 3/4 down to 3/1. So if you got that epic, this becomes absolutely insane. It's already kind of nutty. Maybe it is 5. Yeah. David says plays with the 3/4. It's one-side Hellfire. Well, it's still two-sided Hellfire to a degree. It hits your 3/4 and any other minions you have. But Snowball would kill itself. It would put it down to 1 health. Snowball hits enemies only, right? Wait, does it? Oh shoot! You're right. Oh, which also, yeah. But some people were talking about like Snowball fight with this. I'm like, well, I mean, sure, but you have to, you have to be behind. But yeah, wow. I thought this was 2-sided. Huh. All right. The praise for neutral stone. Discover an 8-cost minion, summon it and freeze it. So for 2 less mana than Free from Amber, you get the Free from Amber effect, but you freeze it. Great if you manage to get a taunt, right? If you just need a taunt, this is incredible. If you don't need a taunt, well, then you've delayed an 8-cost minion for 2 mana cheaper. Still seems potentially super nutty. Imagine, thank you for the raid. Super appreciated. We're going through the Alterac cards today. To save is a deniable power creep. Actually, Lyra points out you can summon a 9 or 10 cost card with Free from Amber, right? You could summon a Scrapyard. But, which this doesn't. Fair to say. Attack on turn 8, spectate turn 7. Right. Then for 2 turns, this has Rush. Right, yeah, if it has Rush, you would be able to attack with it the next turn. I think this one's weak. I definitely don't think it's weak, personally. But it is, as he says, a little slow. The opponent gets 2 chances typically to respond to it. There's too many neutrals. Yeah, but one of those neutrals is the 8/8 taunt. This is weak compared to all the other stuff. This depends on the meta. Yeah, if only they were the 8-mana rush, which there's the 8-mana 8/8, which we've seen with the honorable kill. This depends on how many good 8s there are with it. This one's hard to judge. Yeah, Leaf says that there's the 8-mana Abomination. Even if they ban the Abomination from drafting, it would be on this. That's interesting. I'm gonna call it a 4. Maybe I'll be wrong. Baron Glacier. Sir Barrington. 7 mana 6/6, understand. For each frost spell you've cast this game, summon a 3/4 elemental it freezes, which of course we've seen. That's a rare frost spell. The Wild Paw Cavern is actually not a frost spell. Snowball Fight is an epic, probably not gonna see it, but we know Frostbite and Wind Chill are 2 common frost spells for Shaman. So obviously this legendary, depends on how many of those frost spells you have. You need to have played one frost spell for this to be okay, and 2 frost spells for it to be very good. And yeah, it makes sense, is that rare minion gives you an extra frost spell, yeah. So if you have no frost spells, this is a 1, it's super understated. If you have 1 frost spell, you have to draw them in the right order, and it's still not that good. So if you have 1 frost spell, it might still be a 1, or it might become a 2. Once you start to get up to 2 frost spells, you still have to draw them in the right order. But it probably gets up to like a high 2. When you get 3 frost spells, then you're getting 3. If you have access to 4 frost spells, maybe a low 4. Now, if you got 5 frost spells, then maybe a high 4. If you have infinite frost spells, maybe it becomes a 5. You're still vulnerable to AoE though. So, we don't know exactly how many frost spells the average shaman deck will be taking, but I'm guessing you'll usually get 3. So, I would probably put this around 3, because again, this has to happen in the right order. If you draw the Baron before the frost spells are actually drawn, it doesn't work. So, because it's conditional, because it's weak to some AoEs and such, it may not be the easiest thing to draft, actually. Yeah, Dance's Crashing 1 frost spell by 7 might not be too hard. Of course, maybe you could discover this. It is an elemental, it's in the elemental pool. I'm actually surprised it's an elemental. Because it looks like a beast. Even if it's an Icy Bear, I thought it would be a beast card. Even if it give less synergy with some certain stuff. Coffin, good to see you if I haven't said hi. It's a bear, right? I didn't notice the elemental tag. I was really expecting the beast tag. Huh. Again, Brucon will probably not be draftable, but if you could draft him, call upon the power of 2 elements, so you get, there's summon 2/2/3s with taunt, restore 6 health to all friendly characters, deal 6 damage to the enemy hero, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions, and then you get one of these as a hero power every turn. It swaps. It's reminiscent of that Dr. Boom warrior hero, which was like good in Arena. But it wasn't super nuts, if I remember right. It was very good though, if you got early enough. They're good hero powers. They're good hero powers for sure, but they're kind of random. It was super nuts. It was good. I feel like I beat it pretty often. It's barely an elemental. I'm just. Is this 5? Is this 5 like the other ones, or is it down at 4? I believe the first time you always get to choose the 2 elements, right? You get to choose from all of them, so you always get to do the. Is it 2 damage AoE or 3? What did I say? If it's 3 damage AoE, I'll give it 5 stars. It's 2 damage AoE. Along with summoning 2/2/3 taunts while gaining 5 armor for 8 mana. Yeah, I might only give this one 4, actually. It might be a little too expensive for what it does, honestly. Maybe it's 5. Maybe it's still 5. I'm gonna give that one 4, though. I was in the hero power, though. Yeah, I'm worried it's a little too slow, though, honestly, for Arena. I'm a little worried. I put it at 4. Maybe it's 5. Okay. Feels like a tamer Jiraxis. And even Jiraxis is... Yeah, okay, so ATD is actually arguing that it goes down to 3, not even 4. Okay, I thought you were arguing I was rating it too low. Okay. So there's Shaman. Moving on to Rogue. This is an epic, so it won't show up too often. 2 mana, 2/2 stealth, which is not very good, but after you play a Death Realm minion, become a 2/2 copy of it with Rush. Super deck dependent, you know. if you got this down on turn 7, on turn 8 you played Forge Fiend, this would become 2 mana, 2/2, gain 8 armor, which would be pretty good. If you got something like a Bone Drake is available right now, you can get extra random dragon. He talks about, yeah, if you got the Humongous Owl, you could do a random 8 damage. That's super true. So yeah, incredibly deck dependent. 2 stars on its own, and the more synergistic death rattles you get, the stronger and stronger it gets. But if you don't think you're gonna get the good death rattles, 1 to avoid, generally. Maybe it's 3. The stealthy is helpful. Yeah, we'll call it 3. Reconnaissance. Discover death rattle minion from another class. It costs 2 less. I know there's specifically some really strong hunter death rattles upcoming, or at least one of them. Again, this is very meta-dependent. It's very meta-dependent. The more strong class death rattles there are, the better it gets. Generally, death rattle minions are strong, though. And generally, class minions are strong, though. So I would venture towards calling this on the stronger side. Because it costs 2 less, it's mana neutral. And you can also do things like discover, an 8 mana death rattle on turn 5, and then play it for 6 mana the next turn, because it costs 2 less this turn. Nice, I'm surprised you rated that 2/2 so low. Maybe I'm not having enough faith in death rattles. Maybe. Has ever heard of Shizor? The Black Sun Prince? Da-da-da-da. Wait. I mean, 6 server could shift to Shadows of the Empire, right? Yeah, 6. I have heard of Shizor. I've also heard of Zixor, which is a prime. I actually figured out what you meant, but genuinely, I was like, why is John talking about Shadows of the Empire? Well, I'll talk about it. I says, OMG, this weapon, I ain't seen this. Yeah. 2 mana, 2/2, which is not great, but honorable kill, get a copy of the top card of your opponent's deck. So yeah, double draw with a 2/2 weapon is super valuable. David's a 6. I don't know about 6. You still have to get these honorable kills. But it's very strong draw power on a weapon that helps you reasonably. So it's helping you on board while giving you draw power, which is strong enough. Yes, but it's a strong 4. Yeah, some people are like 6. Spoons is talking about being almost 5. Yeah, I might call it a low end 5. Maybe it's a very high end 4. But yeah, the double draw while you get some benefit out of the weapon itself. And Larry says it's information too, because it's not a random card in your opponent's deck; it's the one they're about to draw. Yeah. Okay. You're right. The fact that it's the card they're about to draw and you get to knowing is useful. Whereas if it procs, yeah, but you do have some control over it. If you're not gonna get an honorable kill, you might just be able to hold back the weapon swing. I don't think it's gonna be too tough to pull this off in arena because everybody's playing minions. Armor kill in arena is gonna promote a lot of trading stuff to benefits. It's gonna be save meta, or maybe it won't be. Maybe because everybody's trading, I lose my benefits. Maybe I need opponents to go face, and that's how I win. If everybody's trading, maybe I'm just a normal player. He says, "I'll make it proc." I'll make it proc. There was the reveal for the last Genshin Impact patch. They had the voice actors for the characters there doing the reveal, and one bit they did that I liked was they showed a fluffy little dog pet. One of the voice actors says, "I like it. I want it to be my friend." And then they say much darker, "I will make it my friend." It will be my friend. 3 mana combo, gain 3 attack. Right, so if you can play another card and play this, you get a Chillwind Yeti on 1 mana discount. Yeah, coin, turn 2, 4, 5. That's very true. That's very true. Guess to save, are you going to do a review with new expansion? Probably not. Probably not. Sorry. So I'm going this out on turn 2. I think this card's pretty bad. Yeah, he's reminded of the Shadow Pan, which was hard to combo because it cost a lot more. I don't think this is that tough to pull off. I think it's really easy to play a 2 and a 3 on turn 5 and have this be good. And like people say, if you coin it out on turn 2, it's nuts. So, I like it. I like it. I think I'm actually going to call it 4. I think it's easy to pull off on turn 5 in almost any deck. And if you're going second is typically bad, and this makes going second possibly good. This is 4. Think it's only a 3? Think it's only a 3? But I think it's a very top-end 3, but not quite a 4. I think it's a 3. I think it's solid. I think if I see this, I'm pretty happy to get it. I guess I could see it being a high 3 in terms of you don't have enough 3s. You have this on 3 and your options are to dagger, drop this, and you're like, ugh, even next turn, I don't have a 1. This is just stuck in my hand. Maybe. Might have to see it in action. For people that know the lore, for people that know the deep lore, this is fun. If you don't know the deep lore, I'll explain the deep lore. So yeah, let's look at the card first. So yeah, Double Agent, 3 mana, 3/3, Battle Cry. If you're holding a card from another class, summon a copy of this. Obviously right now, this is really easy to pull off because we're in dual class, but we won't be in dual class when the next expansion comes out. So yeah, it's super. It's a 3 mana 3/3 on its own, which is a 2. And the more ways you have access to get class cards, the more things like Swashbuckler you have, the better it gets. But yeah, yeah. Lobotomizer works with this. Lobotomizer works with this if they have a class card that you're top decking. He's I get because it's double, right? So it doubles up, and it's a double agent because he's wearing a Horde to bar and he's tearing it open to reveal Alliance. Pondarans in World of Warcraft that came out with the fourth expansion, Mists of Pandaria. You started neutral and then you joined the Alliance or Horde. They're, I think, still the only race that can be Alliance or Horde. But Double Agent specifically, the deep lore is that Double Agent was the name of this very specific person's character who stayed on the Panda Island. They never chose to be Horde or Alliance, and all they did was they ran around the Panda Island for like hundreds or thousands of hours, picking flowers and mining ore, which gives you a little bit of XP. And so they got up to max level without ever choosing a faction, and they became rather infamous for it. And they put this person's character as an NPC on the Panda Island. There's a NPC that runs around like picking flowers. I think it's called Double Agent, which was their character's name. So anyway, there's like three different angles to this card. It doubles up on the Battle Cry. It's a Double Agent faction-wise, and it's a very specific World of Warcraft story. And yes, it's next level grinding, so it's some deep lore. So yeah, 3 different angles. Maybe I missed most of the review. Will be on YouTube later. Quite possibly. And, if it's not on YouTube, then the Twitch VOD is also available right now. I can't put it on YouTube until, like, day after tomorrow at the earliest, just because of Twitch rules. Alright. Snowfall Graveyard. Your death rouse triggered twice. Last 3 turns. You gotta have a lot of death rails to pick this. To spend 3 mana on this. It's Baron Geddon, and you have to do it within a 3-turn window. A Snowfall Graveyard, some bit of costed, since usually people aren't running around with decks full of death rattles. Yeah, I would probably call this a don't draft. Unless you've already got a lot of death rattles and you know you can pull it off. I would very, very, very much avoid this in a general draft. Now, it says RuneScape put a level cap on the tutorial on to stop that sort of thing. Rivendare not Geddon. Oh, did I say Geddon? Oops. Vesta says, played WoW for less than 2 hours. I heard that guy. Deep lore can't accept Geddon Rivendare. Well, I could have said, Lando Calrissian. He was the Baron Administrator of Cloud City. Lyra apparently really likes this card. I did see it. What is it? Oh, this is actually pretty bad. Yeah, 5 mana, 5/5, battle card. Place your minions in hand and deck with ones from other classes. They cost 2 less. So yeah. Liza, what do you mean pretty bad? It's pretty bad. It's just there are a lot of class cards. Well, okay, so they are minions. So you're not gonna get Snowfall Graveyard type thing. But in Arena we have wild expansions in. There's been a lot of, even class minions over the years that are not that good. And by the time you play this, you want card draw for this to work. Again, you're just gonna kind of spew your hand out. You might be rolling, these random 2-cost class card minions for 0 mana, these random 1-cost class card minions, and they just don't synergize well with what you're doing. They might be worse than what you have in your deck. Is it cool? Yes, but I feel like these random effects have been very inconsistent and usually bad in the past. And you're not Warlock, so you can't keep drawing these discounted cards. Once you're out of cards, even if you draw an 8-mana card that costs 6, it doesn't matter. You're spending all your mana anyway. So is it cool? Yes. And can it high roll? Yes, but it can also low roll. I think it's really gonna be quite inconsistent. Maybe it's gonna be incredible. Maybe I'm underestimating how good the average class card is. But I think oftentimes your draft is gonna be better than these random cards. So, is it cool? It's got waifu stats though. So yeah, it's cool. It's cool. AT says the same thing. It's cool, but I don't think it's gonna be super good, honestly. I says, Arena safe. How often do you have a coherent game plan for your drafted minions? I think you might have some stuff like, Bones Rake, some nice 8/8 taunts and 4/7 taunt, 4/10 taunts, and you're gonna re-roll into, a 1-mana 1/1 Divine Shield Righteous Protector. It's like, oh, well, it's turn 9, it's turn 14. Mad thinks it's gonna be good. Thinks at least a 4. Maybe I'm gonna be super wrong. But I think this is a slightly understated 5 that is, it is nice that it's class cards. If this was any card discounted by 2, then it would be like Elysiana that replaces your deck with discovered cards. Elysiana's been terrible, but Elysiana gets neutral cards. So maybe I'm underestimating these class minions. But, I don't know. I think it's gonna be too random. I'm going to say it's below average. I'm going to say this is not going to work out for you very well most of the time. But maybe I'll be super wrong. So says you just put your entire hand down. Yeah, if they got like a Brawl or a Flame Strike or something, you're out of cards. And they're not. Or it talks about Renounce Darkness being a great card. Right, yeah. I says your opinion's despicable. Well, I can do the Skinner line. I can do the Skinner line from The Simpsons. Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong. All right. Tries to play in sprint. Maybe. Maybe. Guess if you got a bad deck, this could be 5. That's fair enough. If your draft is already bad, then sure, take it. Let me say anything else. Use Yadi's opinions. Man, just think about the fun value this card brings. Again, it could be fun. It could be fun. It could high roll. But I'm not rating based on fun. Rating based on whether I think it's going to help you win a game. Replay 5 cards from the class you played this game. Yeah, Matt says 1, Scro says 1. Now, yeah, of course, if you've already got this legendary, then I guess you can do it. But, yeah. Unless you have a bunch of different cards like Swashbuckler, this seems very, very tough to pull off in Arena. And especially at 5 mana. So, yeah. Unless you already got the stuff, I would say this is not worth drafting. This is a Pulp Fiction reference, by the way, the art. Alright. 5 mana, 4/5, rush. Costs 1 less for each card. So all these things that add other cards from other classes to your stuff, but it's tough to pull off in Arena right now. Do you get battle cries with that spell? Probably, almost definitely not. Right? Or Tess says you do. Or Tess says you do. Lyra says you do. Did you get the battle cries with Tess? Did you? Makes sense if Tess didn't play battle cries. I wouldn't think so. Tess did not battle cry. Okay. I didn't think so. But yeah, costs 1 less for each card you've added to your hand from another class. You only need to play 1 card from another class for this to be really good, or very good. If you play more than 1 from another class, it's very, very, very good. And even if you play 0 cards from another class, it's not the worst card ever. So, yeah, I mean, 5 mana, 4/5 rush. It's a little understated, but it's playable. You just need to play 1 card from another class. And I'm gonna put it at 3. But 2, 3, and if you got more cards from other classes. So what's wrong with the main's face? It's looking away. It's looking over its shoulder. It's looking over its shoulder. Again, you will probably not be able to draft these heroes, but just to talk about them anyway briefly. So yeah, for 1 more mana and vanish, you push your opponent's minions back to their hand, and yours to your hand. You summon 2 4/2s with stealth, which could help kill the enemy, because you, like AT says, you get instant board control. And your hero power becomes the next card you play this turn costs 2 less for 0 mana, which helps you get your cards back on the board after you return them to your hand. So, yeah, you reset the board in your favor, and then you get to play your hand out faster than the opponent does. That's just solid. It's gonna do really good most of the time, unless you're super behind. If your opponent has 5 cards, you're returning to your hand, you're returning none to your hand, and you're out of cards. You're still gonna lose most of the time, unless the 2 stealths are enough. But it's really solid overall. Auctionmaster Beardo hype. Oh, to reset the 0-cost hero power. All right, and that's all the rogue ones. Moving on to priest. He says you replace your power? Yeah, so you get 0 mana. Your next card costs you less. He says 5 stars, you're gonna lose. If you're already super behind. Is what I said. Alright. I said, I think the hero power is worse. By turn 7/8, the mana discount isn't that huge, but you lose your dagger. The reason the mana discount can be huge is if the play that would often happen is your opponent has like 2 minions, you've got like 2 minions, you go face with your 2 minions, if they don't have a taunt, you reset the board, you get your 2 4/2 stealths, which might be able to kill them next turn if you went and faced the previous turn, and then you get your 2 mains in hand, use the hero power to get your stuff on board faster. So I think it does still matter, even late game. Kibas says, when does this stuff go live? Tuesday? The pre-patch goes live Tuesday, I believe, but the actual expansion is a week after that. So on Tuesday, you'll be able to look at these cards in the client, and there'll probably be some other changes, including Diablo being removed from Battlegrounds. But the actual expansion won't be live for another week. Thank you, Crook, with the follow. I appreciate that. Gift of the Naru. Restore 3 health to all characters. If any are still damaged, draw a card. So you only draw 1 card. It's not like if multiple things are still damaged, you draw multiple cards. But yeah, this does hit the opponent board. It does hit the opponent board. Life says this card has synergy with Happy Ghoul. That's true. Ressa says, okay, so dual class for another week. Yes. Yeesh. It does hit the opponent board, but you can take trades first. You'll probably be able to take advantage of this. A downside actually is that if you heal everything to full, if like the faces have not taken damage, you probably won't draw the card. But as long as you've gotten the opponent's health down to 26, you're gonna draw a card off of this. I think you'll be able to take advantage of it. I think you'll be able to take advantage of this pretty big time. At 1 mana? It's not always going to work out. And because it's not always going to work out, I tend to lean towards 4 instead of 5. But I think you'll be able to take super big advantage of this. With the same type of thing you do with Holy Novas, but this is so much cheaper. Trade. You get your stuff down to 1 health. You heal them all back up. Thomason with Injured Blade Master. Yeah, absolutely. Or any card like it. There's that 2 mana one from Saviors Will Doom. Yeah, I think you'll be able to take big advantage of this almost every time. I like it. Is this kind of a boring card? Maybe. I don't know. Healing School. John says, nah, it full heals that 2-drop. But if the faces are damaged, you're still gonna draw the card. That's because if full heal Blade Master, you get the draw guaranteed. Fair enough. It's still good synergy though. Because we're still reviewing cards. There's 135 of them. It takes a minute. Shadow Word Devourer. Choose a minion. Oh, yeah. This card's like 7, right? Was it? This card was really pretty early. Yeah, choose a minion. It steals 1 health from all other minions. So, right. Yeah, if your opponent has 3 minions, you do 1 damage to them and you funnel the health into yours. Yeah. This just seems insanely useful. Insanely useful to me. Maybe. Yeah, Larry says, I don't think it's that insane. At 1 mana, I think it's gonna be super nuts. You can leave the minions dead. Yeah. If they had 1 health left, it would kill them and you'd still get the health. I really think this is gonna be super incredible. So I'm gonna say 6. 5 would not surprise me. 4 would surprise me. I think this card's gonna be crazy. I think it's gonna be crazy. Hercules said we can bad top deck later on. It could be. That's true. But yeah, I think this card's gonna be pretty nuts. Personally, I'm glad it's an epic, so it'll be hard to draft. Yeah, exactly. Who says epic? Bless ya. I'm not leaving here until I get a blessing. Give me +2 health, then set its attack to be equal to its health. So if you play this on a 3/4, it becomes a 6/6. I'm considering whether it's worth a card, though. Yeah, makes his Interfire is back, yay, but not Divine Favor or whatever. They actually doubled the health first, which is how you did the instant kills and such. Is reminded of Dino Size with this. Yeah, John says this is awesome on that 2/10 taunt that freezes anything that attacks it. You could play it and then push it up to 12/12. And then get big and hard. Like, should we do this at 100? Card would still be 101. Oh, wait, do you mean the previous card? So in games with Battlemaster. And with Battlemaster? Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Battlemaster. I'm still thinking of like Blade Master. Pretty right, especially with the number of mount spells you have. When does it come out? December 7th. December 7th, a little over a week from now. You do tend to play more minions that have more health than attack in Arena. Almost every minion. But if he's placed on a 2-3, comes a 5-5, let's make the trade. Alright, I'm gonna give it 3. I'm gonna give it 3. Nice says, do you wear wigs? I do not wear wigs. Okay. Larry says, have you worn wigs? I have not worn wigs. I says, win with you, win wigs. I can't put on the Joey wig. It's on the other screen. Yeah. Chaos think this card could be great. Maybe it is 4. If it says, this is the one I disagree with. It's going on record, blesses 5. After Feminine Sealed, give it +2 attack. So, we had the Light Steed that said after Feminine Sealed, give it +2 health. Which is generally better to gain health than attack in Arena. But still, this could be helpful, especially with like Gift of the Naru. But again, Gift of the Naru is an epic. Maybe it won't show up that much. Gaining the +2 attack to enable trades that are not otherwise doable with Holy Nova or that Gift of the Naru type thing could be quite decent. I like the Lightsteed one much better. I think the Lightsteed one is like a high 4, a low 5. This, I still like it. Personally. I think I would still give it a 4. Or it says the minion needs to be damaged. Does it? How is Lightsteed worded? Because Lightsteed, they didn't need to be damaged. Which says Lightsteed reads your healing effects also give effective minions +2 health. So this, they do need to be damaged. If they need to be damaged, then I go down to 3. John thinks they have to be damaged. If they have to be damaged, I give it a 3. If they don't have to be damaged, I go 4. But yeah, if they have to be damaged, I go 3. All right. Slightly unclear. Deliverance was a very notable card. I think Dreads and Redbeard got to reveal this one. So yeah, 3 mana, deal 3 damage, which is not what you want to spend. You want to spend 2 mana or 1 mana on deal 3 damage. But Honorable Kill, summon a new 3/3 copy. So really, really good against, Death Rattles. You can do 3 damage, kill the front of a Stubborn Suspect, and summon your own Stubborn Suspect at 1 mana discount. So yeah, there's a lot of cards that this is really, really good against. Particularly Death Rattles, and there's a lot of Death Rattles in Arena. If you kill a Rush card, you can get your own 3/3 Rush, which could help you out too. Because it says, doesn't work on friendly minions, apparently. I thought, you're 100% sure of this? I thought I saw some discussion about this, and they linked confirmation that Honorable Kill does work on friendly minions. Which it seems weird for it to be honorable to kill your own crew, but... I thought I saw a hard confirmation that it does work on friendly minions. So the character in the portrait even looks like suspect. You saying all goblins look alike? Banned already. You got the wrong guy, pal. His overkill works. This works too. Amongst our value. Yeah, get that it still says deal 8 damage. Yeah. But yeah, this seems pretty great. Seems really easy to pull off. And so even if you just, kill someone with 3 health that you get a 3/3 that doesn't have a death rattle or something, it's still very good. And if you got the death rattles, I think it's it's just completely insane. Website says enemy only. The tooltip doesn't specify. And yeah, right, a dev set works on friendlies. That's the exact process I saw. Right, because armor kills enemy only might be outdated. Yeah, I believe there was a Twitter message that said that's wrong. It does work on friendlies. That's at least the process I heard. Has it really been another hour already? It says it's time for a break. Here's the objective for Priest. Stormpike aid station. At the end of your turn, give your minions +2 health, last 3 turns. So if you're trying to play... That's a new initiation, so cheap. Yeah. There's a mech 2. This one's interesting. I really think it's win more. I don't know if I'm calling it win more or not. It might let you win in a situation that you would normally not be winning. If you've got, 3 small minions on board, you can spend 3 mana to give them all 2 health. If your opponent still can't kill them, and you can drop another minion and then give another, they kill one of them. And you give those 2 original minions 2 health and the new one 2 health. And you do it again the next turn. It's still the slowness, the spending 3 mana up front on this is the difficult part. But I think you'll be able to pull it off. I think you'll be able to pull this one off in many cases. I'm giving it a 3. But we'll see. Why they call it objective? Sorry to explain earlier, but seemed like a boon. The reason is that, all of Alterac Valley is based on a PvP map, a battleground from World of Warcraft, and so most of these things were objectives to take or capture. So there were towers that you would attack and burn down. Although a few, I know Dunbalar Bridge was one of the first ones they revealed, and the bridge is not actually an objective in the game, is it? You don't capture the bridge, do you? You just go over it to reach the Alliance base. I don't think the bridge was an actual objective in the game. It was more of a landmark. But yeah, we do have to take another break, I'm afraid. We gotta take another break. Hopefully, I'm hoping the last break before we finish the review. We still have 5 classes to go, though. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe we'll take one more. Oh man, these reviews take a long time. Take control minion, death row, give the minion back. If you can kill the minion before this thing dies. Interesting. Alright, we're back. Back in 3 minutes. Let's get back to this, although I need to get back to where we were in the slideshow. There we go. Yes, Mikazan's taking off since midnight in Germany. Have a good night, Mikazan. As always, thanks for being here. And there's one more shout out for Mikazan. Got to catch Mikazan playing some Sekiro, which was very early for Mikazan and very late for me. Because I was, like I said, putting together the new stream deck that I'm using to control the slideshow and such. It seems really nice. I figured I should have got one years ago. It seems that's correct. Let's see. Okay, so yeah. Naja Kexen. Yeah, Battlecry, take control of a minion. Death Rail, give the minion back. So, as people in chat were discussing during the break, very good on Rush, if you can steal the minion and rush into an enemy target, and that's just dead. Good on a Taunt, if they have no way to kill your 1/4 behind the Taunt, then they won't be able to trigger the Death Rattle. People point out that you draft pandas that brew cards back to your hand in Arena, and so you could take control of a minion, brew it back, and then use it again later, which would be super nuts. And even if you take control of an enemy minion, like a 6/7 or something, or even a 4/5, let's say, and they can kill the Hexen, when they get the 4/5 back, at least they can't attack with it that turn if it doesn't have Rush. So it still slowed them down a fair bit. For my Enforcer, John's stat line, it really is. It really is. And yeah, Matt says you could also maybe silence it somehow with the Librarian or with the other Librarian that's currently in the meta. Yeah. I mean, easy 5. Does it go to 6? Probably. Probably goes to 6. Fix is actually not as impressed as me. I'd be very hesitant to not call this at least a 5. The 6 may be exaggerating things. Thank you, Halo. I appreciate that. For the follow, that is. Big ghost here. 5 mana, 5/5. Taunt, Death Rattle, draw a Holy Spell, and a Shadow Spell. A 5 mana, 5/5 Taunt is already pretty good. A 5 mana, 5/5 is not that good, but add the Taunt tag, and it's already pretty good. It'd be at least 3. And then you may not have a Holy Spell and a Shadow Spell. You might just have 1. But 5 mana, 5/5 Taunt, draw a card is really quite nice. If you got both of them, 5 mana, 5/5 Taunt, draw a 2 is pretty much a 5. Maybe a low-end 5, but yeah. A reasonably stat card that draws 2. It's a reasonably stat card that has Arcane Intellect. That's really good. That's really, really good. So, if you got multiple Holy and multiple Shadow spells, super incentivized. If you just got 1 or 2 of them, still really, really good. Spells in Arena. Justin, watched the first 3 episodes of Arcane. Really good so far. Yeah, unfortunately, the first 3 episodes did end up being my favorite. But it was still good after that. And maybe you'll like the rest of it more than I did. So it's still really good after that, but I was most impressed with the first 3. Alright. 6 mana, 3/7. Taunt, Death Rattle, deal damage equal to this minion's attack to enemy minions. So, right, Tunnel Blaster. Tunnel Blaster is a card in the meta right now. This is Cruz Ambulance, the Arcane. Yeah, I don't care about League of Legends, but it's actually really good if you like animation. But yeah, Tunnel Blaster hit both sides of the board when it died. This only hits the enemy board, and so this card's nuts. Is it 6-star nuts? I don't know. It's a rare. It's a rare. At least it's not a common. But yeah, exactly. People that don't like Priest like Dan. Oh man. Oh man. And yeah, it works with buffs too. Yeah, true. Yeah, John said it's high 5. Yeah. Fortunately, it's a rare, not a common, but maybe wish it was an epic. Again, just like every time, the hero cards will probably not be draftable. Almost definitely. But let's still talk about them briefly, because they can show up off Discovers and such, and random class cards. Trigger the Death Rattle of every friendly minion that died this game. You do often end up with a lot of Death Rattles in Arena. But the hero powers on this one, are really strong. You alternate between restore 5 health and deal 5 damage for 2 mana. Both of which are pretty nuts. 2 mana, no card, heal 5 health is nice. It's nice on your face, it's nice on minions. 2 mana, deal 5 damage that can even go face is absolutely insane. It does take an 8 mana setup. But it's an insane upgrade to your hero power. So, you may not have time to do this. If the opponent has 20 damage on board and you're at 10 health, you don't have time. You don't have time unless the Death Rattles help you out. So, it is really, really slow. It's really, really, really slow. So if you could draft it, you gotta you gotta not fall super far behind. But if you can be even in the game, the super overpowered hero power is gonna win. So I would still probably say 5 stars for a card that wins the game almost every time, if you're not behind. So I would still probably say 5, but maybe it's too slow actually. If you could draft it, which you probably won't be able to. Alright, that should be the last priest card. Let's go to Paladin. We got Paladin, Mage, Hunter, Druid, and Demon Hunter all still left.